In this video, I'm going to discuss my mid-oil change filter change. And what I run on this car is an extended oil change interval anywhere from 10,000 to approximately 10,800 miles. I use AMSOIL 0W30 Signature Series full synthetic plus a premium oil filter. And since about 4 years ago, starting at approximately the 5,000 mile to 7,000 mile mark on the oil change, I've been getting a valve train, what I'll call a lifter tick sound on cold startups on cold mornings. And it would go away after about 30 or 45 seconds. And it sounded like it could be seriously detrimental to the engine eventually. So the first and second year that it happened, I just pretty much ignored it because it just happened a couple of times. On the third year that it happened, I did an early oil change at about 6,000 or 7,000 miles. That was with new oil and a new filter, and that stopped the lifter tick, and that was in the colder time of the year. And in more recent years, the lifter tick, it lasted longer, maybe like 60 seconds, and the engine was doing it more frequently on cold startups on cold days. So in that third year that I changed the oil and the filter early, my assumption was that my oil was bad or had worn out, in air quotes. So on the fourth year, I changed the only the oil filter at somewhere between the 5,000 and 7,000 mile mark, and that fixed the problem. That eliminated the lifter tick. So I was able to drive the car to the full 10,500 miles without any lifter tick problems. Then, of course, I did my full oil change with a new filter. That mid-oil change filter change solved my problem. So it took me basically 4 years to figure out this problem. And the oil filter on this thing is a tiny little filter for a car engine. I've never seen a filter this small on a car engine before. I will note that my oil does turn very dark at about the 2,000 or 3,000 mile mark. I guess that's carbon that's building up inside the engine. I don't know. Probably due to my short 10-minute trips that I take quite often. And over that 4-year time period, I did talk to, or in the latter, more recently, probably in that third or fourth year, I did talk to a support at AMSOIL, a technician there, and he explained that the oil filter, of course, it has a bypass valve in there, and the bypass valve takes approximately 12 psi of back pressure, or it will open up when there's 12 psi of restriction in the oil filter, approximately. So if and when the oil filter media gets clogged up enough that it takes 12 psi of oil pressure to push the oil through the media, the filter media, then the bypass valve will open and oil will bypass the filter media and go through the bypass valve. So clearly in my case, the filter media was subtracting or robbing some oil pressure PSI from my engine oiling system. And the top end, or the valve train, is the first to be starved of oil flow in this situation. And this is why I was getting lifter tick, and I said that with air quotes. I mean, it could have been my cam phasers or something, or my chain tensioners. I don't know, but it sounded like a lifter tick. But I will note that this car does not have hydraulic valve lifters. It's an overhead cam engine, but it does have, I think they're called buckets or shims, that take up the slack in the valve train instead of a hydraulic lifter. I don't think my oil filter was ever in oil bypass mode. That would be 12 psi of back pressure, but I do think it was clogged, and I use the air quotes again, clogged enough to have maybe, 5 or 10 psi of back pressure. I don't know. I can't measure this stuff. I do have 3 of the old oil filters that I've kept. One of them has 10,000 miles on it. One of them has probably approximately 7,000 miles on it. And the other one, I'm not sure about. It's either going to be 5,000 miles, 5 to 7,000 miles or 10,000 miles. I did not label those filters. I still have them. I do have those, though. I guess I could cut them open and examine the filter media. I don't think that would really tell me anything significant. To prove my theory in the lab, it would be necessary to check the pressure drop across the oil filters. I don't have the equipment to do that. And I've been using this AMSOIL 0W30 Signature Series full synthetic for 100,000 miles. That's changing it every 10,000 miles. And for each of those changes, I sent a sample of oil out to a company called Blackstone Labs, and no high levels of any trace metals have ever been detected. So I know my oil filters are not full of metal shavings, despite never having cut one open. So anyway, the message here is this is a normally aspirated engine, no turbocharger, but from now on, I'm changing my oil filter at the 5,000 mile mark. Maybe I'll let it go a little further, 6,000, 7,000 miles, but I'm not going to let my engine get to the situation where it's doing this lifter tick. Anyway, I hope you found this entertaining, and if you liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.